to Warframe, and today we're doing the review for Ivara. Ivara is the Huntress Warframe. She is really good at what she does, and she's very versatile in every game type, mostly. Actually, yeah, pretty versatile in every game type. So we're gonna be going over her abilities and everything, but first of all, her passive. Her passive is that when you're in a mission, it gives you basically enemy radar for free. I don't remember how many meters it is. It probably says if I go over here. Let's see. Does it say? No, it doesn't. It just basically gives you enemy radar. Now, I'm using the Ferox and the Glaive for a reason, and that'll show that in a minute. But let's start going through abilities. Her first ability is the her little, she has something like Vauban in that she has 4 abilities in one. So the first one is called the Cloak Arrow, and basically what it does is you pull it and it does that. And wherever you shoot it, it just stays a little circle on the ground, and yeah, it turns you invisible once you walk into it. And it's pretty effective for once you're, let's say you need to revive a teammate, and he's kind of out in the open. You shoot a Dashwire Arrow onto him and you revive him, and then he's not only vulnerable for the little duration that he has for once you revive an enemy, or once you revive an ally, once you shoot it onto them, it stays tacked onto them so they can run away and be invisible for an extended duration, which is pretty good. The Dashwire Arrow is basically this thing, and I actually love doing this in every mission type, especially the endless ones. So I would shoot an arrow like this, and basically what it does is it creates a zip line right here. And what I've been doing a lot is shooting them around like this. So one like there, let's say one there, if it'll reach. No, it will not reach. But I would put one in here, and make like multiple intersections, and it's kind of cool. The Dashwire does have a limit of 100 meters, so if something's too far away, like that pillar over there, it will not reach. Actually, oh, okay, yeah, it does reach, but if the area behind you, let's say way over there, is too far, and I try and shoot one like I was trying to do over there, it won't reach because it can't get to that other area over there. And they do stay up infinitely. There is no duration on them, so as long as you are in the mission, they will stay there. The next one is the Noise Arrow, and these last two actually do have to demonstrate with enemies. So let's see here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do some butchers. Where are the butchers? Grenier. Do I have any butchers? There we go. Let's do 8 butchers. And I'm going to use the third ability here just to show this. So basically what this Noise Arrow does is that while they are not, when they're not able to detect you, they can actually, you can kind of pull them around places. So once you shoot the Noise Arrow, they go towards the arrow and they stay in the area of that arrow as long as they are attended to it. So they go like that, and they go over there. So they kind of just stay there. And what you can do is you can use the next arrow and the last arrow, which is this one, the sleep arrow, and you go like this, and well, boom, they're all asleep. They will stay asleep until their health reaches 50% or less than half of what it is currently. So if it's like this, and you shoot it down to 50%, they will wake up, and once they're out of it for once it reaches the 50%, you can put them back to sleep and get it down to a half of that, and it keeps going until they basically die. But this kind of just does count for stealth, so you go like this, and you can shoot them and do whatever you need with them. And yeah, as long as they don't wake up, you're kind of good. So that's the first ability done. Finally, right? Took long enough. And the second ability is okay. So the second ability is interesting in that this is why I'm using this weapon, the Ferox. So with the Ferox, if you've ever used it, is you can go like this and boom, you throw it, or with the Javelok, whatever. And well, in this case, the Ferox is just kind of gonna go away and disappear until it comes back to my hand eventually. I'm waiting for that. There it is. So the thing with this ability is you can activate it like this, and well, go like that, and you can control it while you're throwing it. So as long as you hit, as long as you're not going off the map or whatever, or you run out of energy or stuff like that, you will be able to control that forever. And if there's a punch through on it, like let's say you're using an arrow, then it will actually go through enemies, so you can do that as well. So if I go like this, activate 2, throw, and I aim it like that, it didn't quite hit him, but since I am using the Ferox, it does crowd control him. As you can see there, it is damaging him. And then I can run over, and he's actually dead. So yeah, that's kind of a, it's a cool ability. It's something fun to mess around with. And while it is flying around, you are invisible, so enemies cannot detect you. It doesn't use, that's the reason I'm using a glaive, is because you can also use this with a glaive. So if I just throw this, yeah, it goes like that. And when you go like this, you throw it, and boom. The issue with the glaive, and I've found with the Toncore as well, is that this will fly forever. There is no amount of bounces it can do that will stop it from doing this. It'll just keep going like this until you run out of energy. And it does also work with projectiles that are already in air. So if I throw this and then activate the ability, it will then take control of it. But yeah, it's fun to use, but it's just not very practical. If you're in a situation where you're already like an hour into a survival and the enemies are still easy, then yeah, you can start using this just for fun. But it's not something you'd use for any serious content. The third ability is Prowl. This is the ability that everyone gets Ivara for. So Prowl is basically what I showed at the beginning. If I go ahead and go in here and pull up 20 butchers and put them up to like 100, like this, these guys will kill me in one hit, no doubt. But if I go into here, they cannot see me, and I'm kind of invisible to them. So this guy knows I'm here, and these guys know I'm here just because they've seen me. But I can walk up to them in this little blue light. I can loot them for additional loot. So if you're in a survival or even other stuff like that, you can loot people for extra, and they don't notice you. As long as you don't run out of energy, you're kind of good. And my energy cost is, I think, half energy a second, so I can do this for a long time. Once I get one energy up, that's already 50 seconds more of this ability. And this is amazing for multiple reasons. One, you can kind of just go ahead, run around endlessly in missions, and well, if they don't know you're there, you can actually you can stealth kill them. But these guys all seem to know I'm here, so there's one. Can I get you? Nope. But yeah, it does work pretty effectively, and especially with this weapon, the build I have on it, I can kind of just walk around and throw the glaive at them. However, this does break when you're using a weapon that's not silent. So when I fire this, I do become visible for just a second, and then I do become cloaked again. Your movement speed does go down quite significantly when you're using this as well. It comes to the point where you are kind of just you're almost crawling. And the augment does fix that a little bit. It gives you a little more movement speed. And when you do have the augment, it actually makes this a lot more effective, because you can walk through lasers and spy gates and all that other stuff in the Corpus and the Grenier missions. And it overall just becomes a more effective ability once you add the augment in. So, really solid ability. Definitely something to get if you are one of the stealth runners in this game and you're just kind of tired of Loki, which I am kind of tired of Loki already, even though I don't use him all that much. But yeah, and finally, the final, as it is very much a needed thing for this. So the fourth ability is her Artemis Bow. This is her exalted ability, and it kind of just, it shreds things. So when I activate this, the dread comes out of her hand, and boom, you have you get the Artemis Bow. The Artemis Bow this is an interesting ability in that it doesn't drain energy per second and drains energy per shot. And with an actual bow, the more you charge it up, the more damage you do. But with this, the more you charge it up, the flatter the arrow spread goes. And what I mean by that is if I just tap it, it fires all the arrows like that. And as fun as that is, it's not amazingly effective for crowd control. When I go like this, it fires in a line like that. And you can actually tell if you look on the screen real quick, right next to the reticle, when you pull it back, the lines show you at what angle it's going to fire at. And as you can see, I'm draining about 10 energy a second. I'm draining about 10 energy per shot with this, so not insanely effective, but oh, it does damage. Ooh, it does a lot of damage. So when I go ahead and pull up, not butchers, when I pull up, well, let me max my energy first. When I pull up something like a sentient at level 100, this becomes a clown show. So if I go into prowl, walk up to a sentient, hello. First of all, you can, this is a really good way to farm for Vengeful Revenant. Is you get 4 Ivaras and you get 4 Ivaras and you basically just go to town and you can loot the sentient with all the Ivaras. I'm gonna run away so it doesn't kill me. You can loot the Ivara, you can loot the sentient 4 times, and that increases your chance of getting Vengeful Revenant, which is insanely valuable for some stupid reason. But if and you can just shred them. So if I go ahead and change the level down to something that's a little more reasonable, something you'd see in an actual mission like level 35, then this legitimately becomes nothing for Ivara. So if I run over here, there's half, and now at this point he's adapted. At this point he can't shoot me or hit me anymore because his arms are gone. And at this point he's kind of just gone. If I wanted to, I can go like this and drain his resistance and shoot him more. Well, once he gets out of that. That's the one bad thing about the sentience. You come out of it, drain him of his adaptation to it, and well, now you can end him. So yeah, Ivara kind of shreds sentience, and this does work. Prowl does work with Redeemer because Redeemer is a silent weapon. But yeah, Artemis Bow overall an amazing ability. If I go pull up something other than a sentient, it becomes another clown show, which so corrupted bombard. If I go to level 50, oops, 1 2 3 4 5, and let's say I just go to prowl again and run over here. Oops. Yeah, sliding does break prowl. So you kind of just roll. Yeah, get wrecked. If I run over and increase the level to 75, oh shoot. Yeah, well, the ability does the ability takes the Artemis Bow does take mods from your primary, so something like a bow is kind of preferred. So if I raise it to 75 and go to this. Yeah, you can roll and jump, but once you run or slide, it breaks it. Go like this. I'm using the wrong bow. That's awesome. There we go. Now Artemis Bow, simulate. Ow. And oh, look at me. yeah, he's gone. Also something with Artemis Bow is that once you whatever arrow you have selected in your 1, so let's say I have the sleep or the cloak arrow, you use your alt fire and it fires that arrow right away, which is effective. So then you can run around with Artemis Bow infinitely, and you can run around with Artemis Bow infinitely and also fire these at the same time. And I don't know if I mentioned or not already, but the Artemis Bow does not take energy per second, it takes energy per shot, meaning you can use generic and energy orbs and other stuff like that while you're doing this, including energy vampire and shadow, no, Limbo's thing. So when you're in the rift. So overall, really solid frame. Definitely a pickup once you get all the parts. Ivara is probably one of the most annoying frames to get outside of Vauban and probably Hydroid and debatably Nidus and soon to be Octavia. But oh, there's half and he's gone. So yeah, definitely get her. Her parts do drop from spy vaults, including the blueprint. They did take the blueprint off of the marketplace now, so you have to get the blueprint as well. So yeah, I'd say if you had an influx of platinum, like let's say you won a primetime thing, let's say you like got 1,000 platinum from a primetime live stream and you're looking for stuff to spend it on, this is a good frame to buy, especially because of the insane, the stupid price, or no, because of the requirements. I finally got the chassis, I think 3 months after I got the second to last part. Probably because I'm not very diligent with spy vaults, but nonetheless. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment down below. It really helps me out. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and tell me in the comment section. Oh wait, build. That's what I was gonna do. So if we go to the build, you want to build for max duration and efficiency. Range doesn't really matter that much. Strength matters a good amount, and power duration efficiency again, most important. If you wanted to, you can probably max this if you had the format and the time to do it, just because range again doesn't really matter. But overall, that's kind of all the build I'm running on. I could probably do another format, put something in here like power drift. But anyway, that's gonna be it for the video, guys. If you liked the video, please leave a like. I already said all that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.